Hi guys, this is Sarthak and today I'm going to talk about one of the most India's epic movies, Bahubali series, which is 1 and 2. And here are my observations why it worked and why not. I remember the vivid times in the TV when I used to watch the TV as a child and I used to think, what movie is this? It's a typical South Indian movie because the posters were like, yeah, it's the same thing. But the time after I watched it and I was like, okay, this shit is something good and I loved it. And by the time of second movie, I was an adult, and I remember I saw it in an tier one theater in my city, and I loved it. I belong from Nagpur, and I remember the way I watched it. So here are my observations why the movie worked. So first thing first, which is very important, it was the first few movies which had a very excellent kind of dubbing. Most of our Indian movies has this problem whenever they get pan India, they don't have good dubbing, and this movie was one of a kind where the dubbing was actually on point. I remember the type of delivery. I remember the name. It's Sharad Kelkar. He did an absolute fantastic job as the voice of Amarendra Bahubali, which stick like an enigma to him. It's like a voice which will be remembered for ages. Just like the sound which is used for dubbing of any Tom Cruise or some characters in the pan world or universe thing, which transcends. It's like that. Second thing, which I think which was most important and which was a key factor of success of Bahubali in India was its great marketing. I remember the way marketed was. It is the most expensive movie of Indian movie history of that time, and I love that point because that was something which was done very well. Today we see that this budgets of going very shitty movies like we see, not BC, but in Choti Mia, and the way of amount they waste. Actually, the same amount was used for making Bahubali, and they marketed it so well that it just wasn't hype. I remember the news channels, the newspapers, even the starting initial age of YouTube was promoting it like the most expensive film of that time, and it was a great. Third point, which I think which played a very crucial role in the success of Bahubali, was the timing. I remember around the same time Bahubali, the Bajrangi Bhaijaan came and I loved it because I'm a Bhai fan and I watched it. But I remember they used that section of people to drive them theaters again and again because it wasn't weekend, but it was just something great. And the fourth and the most important reason why I think the movie stick because it was the movie which serve the purpose of story more than serving the purpose of the actor. For example, if we see Prabhas now and type of people we criticize him for the roles it do or does, he's hero worshipped or god worshipped like hell. And it's something which is a very big persistent problem with the big stars. Even we go with Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, and I'm pretty much sure that this should not happen with King. I'm praying for it because if this will happen, it surely will serve the fans, but it will not help it in the longer run. Coming back to the topic, Bahubali, in the context of Bahubali, Amarendra Bahubali is revered as a character more than Prabhas. Even when the sequence of the Shapath Vidhi comes, it is a sequence where you truly feel that it's about a person who lives for his people. Rather than you don't feel it that, okay, it's for Prabhas and it's for Prabhas worshipping. It's regarding the character's virtues which the character had and you are rooting for. So this was my few of the things which I loved about the movie. I think this was my first English video and you may have loved it or may have not. So please comment down and please follow, share and subscribe. I'm trying to do this. One note for me to my audience, which will be feature. The reason why I'm making it in English is because I love and very good YouTuber which I'm following from years, which is Amol. I forgot his name, which you all know as Tried and Refused Productions. I forgot his name in the meantime. So I know his name is Amol. So Anmol, sorry.